Die. Hello and welcome back to Is It Just Us? Or should we say good day?
Good day.
Good day, mate.
We're not going to try and do the accent.
Oh, heck no. No.
That would make us look really silly.
I actually don't know if we'd be able to pull it off.
Well, yeah, that's why we'd look silly.
I don't want to listen back to us just saying that because that's going to be, like, awful. Anyway, if you're new here, hi, I'm Emily.
I'm James.
And this is the podcast where we talk about all of those topics where quite often you might be sat there thinking, if it's just you that thinks a certain way, and we're here to hopefully tell you no, but then again, it might just be us.
And this week,
it probably is just us.
Yeah, because we're currently, I wouldn't say we're dying anymore from jet lag, but we're in the post-dying phase. That makes sound like a good thing.
Okay, let's like backtrack a bit.
Oh, you want context?
I think they need context.
Everyone knows where we're going.
If you haven't guessed yet from the very bad, what's the word? Accent. That's it. You can tell I'm tired. If you can't tell by the bad accent, we are finally here in Australia. We arrived over the weekend, so we've been here a week by the time you hear this.
Oh, that's weird.
Isn't that so weird? But yeah, we thought this might be a bit shorter because, as you'll probably end up guessing throughout the course of this episode, we're still, I wouldn't say we're struggling with jet lag, but
we're affected.
We're affected by jet lag. And
we're slow.
We're slow, yeah. I would say, I wouldn't say I'm tired anymore. I would say I think my brain is still like 3 hours behind me.
Yeah. Agreed.
So, like, I'm functioning, but my brain is kind of like, wait, what?
Accurate, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's literally what's going on at the moment.
I mean, it is we were travelling for, well, I was going to say 23 hours, but that's the plane. That's just the plane, plus layover. Whereas if you factor in, driving to Heathrow, when we landed in Australia, we had to get to our Airbnb, which is awkward because we landed at 5:30.
Yeah, 5:30 in the morning.
Before 5:30
and obviously in our heads, we're like, oh, everyone else is going to be up. Wrong.
Very wrong. I mean, the McDonald's we went to was open.
But I mean, McDonald's is normally open.
Yeah, but it's a 24-hour McDonald's.
Exactly.
So yeah, if you add up all the hours we spent going from our front doors to our Airbnb, it's a lot more than 23 hours.
Oh my gosh. I mean, and considering like we had very little sleep on the plane as well, like not only are we suffering from jet lag, but over the weekend we were suffering from like sleep deprivation.
Yeah, our sleep timing thing
was so off.
Was completely off because the first thing we did when we got into our Airbnb was sleep. Yeah, and we slept from about
like half
9 to about 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Which is quite funny.
So we slept most of the day.
Which was great. And I still had to be kind of shaken to get up.
Yeah, I mean, mind you, every morning so far I've been the one waking up and I've been peeling you out of bed. Yeah,
you've been prising me out of bed with a crowbar.
Literally.
That's what it takes at the moment.
Every day we have been sleeping for like 12 hours.
Yeah, it's...
I never knew I could sleep so much.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, I did see today, I saw a thing online that said... it should take one day per time zone that you've travelled across, or maybe one day every 2 time zones. So we've done like 9 or 10 time zones, and this is only our Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Today is Wednesday, so this is only our 5th day here. So
yeah, so it's not a surprise that we're still struggling. A lot of people before we came out here actually said it can take up to 2 weeks for you to actually feel normal again.
And I think we're doing okay. We're going to bed in the evening and waking up in the morning, which is positive. That's a good step.
Actual like normal times.
Because on the first night we went to bed at like
8.
8 because we were shattered still, and then woke up at I don't know 4 o'clock. No, I woke up at like 1.
Yeah, we both kind of woke up at 1. I went back to sleep,
and I stayed awake for about 4 hours.
Yeah,
and woke up again at 5. which by that point we were just like, we might as well kind of stir and.
I mean, at that point, we FaceTimed your family.
Yeah, and
which
then
was kind of useful.
After that, we went back to sleep again.
Yeah,
and it was after because you'd had so much more sleep than me.
I was
before
ready
the
for the
FaceTime.
day,
But after our nap, following the FaceTime, you were ready for the day, and I was. I mean, you woke me up, and you went to like the bathroom or something, and I fell asleep immediately because I just couldn't. And I was trying to like use my phone to wake me up because like I don't know, the blue light thing to stimulate my brain, and I kept. But my eyes wouldn't stay open. It was so weird.
You were struggling.
I was a little zombie.
You were. And like, I would probably say, like, even today, we set an alarm for 7:30?
Yeah, 7:30.
And I thought, right, so we were like, okay, we don't actually have to get up now because like the thing that we were getting ready for, it wasn't like happening today. So we ended up being like, oh, we can sleep in a bit more. In my head, I was thinking, oh, okay, maybe another like sort of hour. No, we wake up at 10.
I mean, to be fair, give us credit. It was 8 to 10.
It may as well be 10.
Yeah. So we had another 2.5 hours sleep, which for me was great because I woke up, we went to bed last night about 10. I woke up about an hour and a half later and couldn't get to sleep for a few hours again. So at the moment, I seem to just be waking up in the middle of the night, unable to sleep. And then the morning is my time to sleep. I'm getting the best quality sleep I've had so far has been between the hours of, I don't know, like 7 and 10, which is really annoying.
That's so bad.
Because I'm going to bed at a good time.
We're going to bed at like normal, like sort of like 9:30, 10 o'clock.
What more can we do?
I mean, I feel pretty good.
I feel okay. Once I'm up and about, I can function on not that much sleep. It's just getting out of bed for me is, the trick is not falling asleep again.
That's going to be tough.
Yeah, but it's the bit I fail at regularly at the moment.
Every day.
I'm just incapable of getting out of bed.
Yeah.
It is not ideal.
I won't lie, I think so far everything we said is at the moment this may as well be like a sleep podcast.
Yeah. A jet lag podcast. That's our main takeaway from the past couple of days is just jet lag.
We're tired.
Yeah. But that said, we've done quite well at, seeing bits of Melbourne. I feel like I'm getting to know the area reasonably well.
Yeah, definitely.
I
feel really comfortable now.
For anyone who knows Melbourne, we're staying. Mm-mm. No, that's a good point.
Let's not tell the internet where we're living right now.
I wasn't going to give them a street number. I was just going to say like suburb.
No.
Is that still not?
No, maybe let's not go delve into that. Maybe Simon, just cut this bit out.
Fair. I don't know.
No, yeah, I'd rather not tell everyone where we're staying right now.
Okay. Is Melbourne specific enough then?
Yeah, I mean near, just like we're staying by like not far from CBD.
Yeah, it's a big place.
I know, but I just generally don't want to start saying names. Anyway, when we arrived, it's funny because we thought that technically it's not spring yet.
No, it's winter.
It's still winter, but when we arrived here, we still thought like, it's going to be spring. We're wrong.
We knew what temperature it would be.
Yeah,
I don't think we were prepared for how windy it would be.
I was going to say, it's one thing seeing the temperature and another thing feeling the temperature.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing when you see 13 degrees on like your phone, but then when you feel 13 degrees with a really, really cold wind and then it says it feels like 6 degrees, you're suddenly like, ah.
Well, I always think like when, in England, when you're coming out of winter and you've been sort of wearing t-shirt, jumper, coat and it's been like 0 degrees outside, when it gets to springtime and it's like, it is this same temperature, it can be 12 degrees or so, because you spent so long with it being like just 5 degrees and under. It feels quite warm, but where we've gone from 20 degrees plus,
yeah, we've gone from summer to winter.
It's quite a shock. Even though normally this temperature would be okay, it would be too bad.
Yeah, but the wind here is crazy.
Yeah,
it's so chilly.
Because normally I would just think this is sort of jacket weather, but
it's really not. I mean, today has been, because today's been actually like we've been walking around in t-shirts and jeans.
Yeah, no one else has for the most part.
I mean, it's funny because obviously like it's been 20 degrees today, which, to be fair, is warm, but it's been so much warmer than it has been for like the last few days.
Yeah, and it was only 20 degrees for like a few hours.
Yeah, but for those few hours, we were walking around in our t-shirts being like, we're sweating and we're disgusting.
It wasn't quite that bad. Wait till it gets to 25. 30.
I mean, I feel like these podcasts are ending up going to be like, we're dying.
We're sunburned.
We're sunburned. We're hot. We're dehydrated.
We're not going outside. Flight was pretty grim. Not gonna lie, it wasn't very enjoyable. It was 2 flights with a small sort of 3-hour, 4-hour layover in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, ended up being almost full.
And the first flight was only 6.5 hours.
Which was really, I actually went pretty quickly.
You say that was the worst bit of the entire journey for me, was that flight.
I think we were the other way around, because that flight for me, I slept the most on that flight.
Yeah, see, I just couldn't. And because we'd done all day Thursday awake, because it was daytime in England. And then we got on the flight at 8.
No, like we actually took off at like 9 o'clock.
Okay, so it was getting into the evening, and you slept because it was nighttime, but I could not sleep, couldn't get comfortable, stayed awake, had about 2 hours where I periodically would doze a little bit, but that was about it. And I was so uncomfortable and hated the entire thing.
Positive. Really positive.
Yeah, the second flight was a lot nicer. I don't know. I think maybe because I was just aware that it's like, okay, right, we're here.
No, I was more annoyed on the second one.
I don't know. I just think 12 and a half hours, you're like, well, it's going to be pretty bad. So the expectation is quite low. And I slept better because, well, weirdly enough, actually, the first thing I did, once we took off, I was like, oh, I'm going to try and, get some shut eye because I'm feeling a bit tired.
Yeah.
And I did. I slept for two whole minutes. And it was really weird because I was, I was hoping that was going to be, I felt so tired. I could feel the sleep going. I was like, yes, here we go. I'm going to have a good 2 hours. Yeah, I was doing the twitchy thing, like, when your body's really getting ready to sleep. And I kind of stirred and I looked over to you and I was like, oh, please say that was longer than just 5 minutes. And you're like, it's about 2 seconds. But the weird thing is, I felt great after.
Yeah, after that, you were literally like, oh, I'm going to read.
Yeah, got a book, had a read.
Watch a movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, you literally had 2 minutes sleep.
I didn't sleep again for like 3 hours.
I just don't understand how you did it.
I had a fast. That 2 minute sleep was a fast charge.
The quickest power nap I have ever witnessed.
Yeah, I went from about 5% battery to I don't know, like 30%.
That's crazy.
In 2 minutes, and then I was good for a bit.
Oh my gosh! Whereas like I was kind of the opposite, where I was sort of like laying there like, help me, please, send help.
But, I mean, it wasn't too bad. I was expecting a 12-hour flight to be a lot worse.
No, I mean, like, it wasn't the first time I've done, like, a 12-hour flight, but having the 6-hour flight and then, like, the 4-hour layover in front of that, it got to the point where, when you're so tired, like, actually, no, I say that, when you feel like this, I've never experienced it, so I don't know if anyone else has, but I got to the point where I was so tired that I felt like I could feel my eyes beginning to get, like, the blood shot look.
Yeah, I could
feel it.
I saw myself in the mirror in the plane, and I was like, "Oh Jesus, that's a look and a half."
Like,
I'm so jealous.
Was burning.
I'm so jealous of the people that can just switch off and sleep for I don't know, like 8 of the 8 of the 12 hours. That would be incredible.
Honestly, because my eyes were burning. Like, I've never felt my eyes so dry and so like uncomfortable. It was just
As I say, it wasn't too bad.
We're really talking it up here, aren't we?
Yeah, well, so the longest flight I'd been on before that was 7.5 hours to Cuba.
Yeah.
So the Abu Dhabi flight was the second longest flight I've ever done.
Yeah.
And yet the 12.5-hour one doesn't rank too badly, which is weird. I did like the fact that you get wine.
Yeah, you were really happy about that, weren't you?
Well, I only had one drink on the flight because I know it's bad to drink on flights, especially when it's like that long.
Yeah, because it's dehydration.
It was just that time the guy next to us got a rum and coke, and I was like, you know what, that sounds quite nice. So I got one as well. And
I mean, I should have gone for a rum and coke. Yeah, my gin and tonic was like rocket fuel.
Yeah, like half and half.
It was so strong. That did not help the eye situation.
But I just found it really weird that, like, on what was it? It was Etihad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that you pay a massive ticket price to go that far, and you just get they come around with drinks, and it's like, oh, just have some water, and then you see they've got like, wine bottles and stuff. Like, what is this?
I felt like I wasn't
never experienced it before.
I felt like I wasn't really getting my money's worth. Just being like, can I have some water?
Yeah, I'll just fill up my cup with vodka. That would be great. And I'll sort the rest.
Dehydration central, right there.
Yeah, get your money's worth there.
Oh my gosh!
It's like the first thing some people did on the flight was have a glass of wine. It's like, wow, that's crazy. It might knock you out if you have enough of it.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I felt like I probably should have had a really big glass of red wine and just knocked myself out. But
no, I'd never seen that before on a flight. Just guessing.
Mind you, side note, but it's kind of not. For anyone about to do like a similar length flight or any flight really, what I ended up doing is I have like my reusable bottle, like my water bottle, take it. Obviously, you can't have it filled up when you're going through security, but take one in your hand luggage because almost every airline, if not every airline, will happily fill them up for you. So that meant I would get a bottle of water rather than the tiny little cups of water.
Yeah, those tiny cups aren't enough to keep you going.
And considering that they would only come round, every 3 hours?
Yeah, not very often.
You would get so dehydrated if you didn't have a bottle of water.
And it's one of those things that when you're that high up in the sky on a plane,
you lose so much water.
You dehydrate a lot more quickly. And trying to stifle a yawn there goes to show how tired we are.
I mean, yeah, for us at the moment, it's like 20 to 5. So
we're getting on to bedtime.
For us, we're getting on to bedtime. No, I mean, we say that, but we are getting into more routine. But
a bit, yeah. Although I do feel like...
we've had a busy few days, so...
Yeah, and I don't know, I'm definitely feeling the tiredness quite a lot now.
I think this sort of time, like late on in the afternoon, is when we start to flake.
Yeah.
So this might have not been the best time for us to record.
Who knows? Maybe I should have used this as to revolutionise my sleep schedule, and I can become someone who like sleeps for 5 hours and then just has a 2-hour power nap at some point during the day. That'd be quite cool. Because at the moment, I'm waking up like in the middle of the night, and I've been lying there thinking, should I just get up and like do something? Like, cause I'm
Really?
wasting time lying down.
Wasting time.
Well, yeah, like I've got a life, and like I don't want to spend my life just in bed hoping I can fall asleep when I clearly can't. I'd rather do something.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I've done that before. Like at home once, I woke up at 4:30 in the morning, and I knew that I wasn't going to go back to sleep properly. And if I did get back to sleep, it would take so long that I'd be waking up at like 10 o'clock. And I was like, I don't really want to do that. I don't want to waste my morning like that. So I got up, went downstairs, made a cup of tea, read a book, and I read until about 7 o'clock. Had breakfast, and then I felt like I'd done a lot that day, and I just did my normal day and went to sleep. I don't know. I went to bed at about 9:30, 10, so pretty early for me.
That's normal for me.
Yeah, but it was just quite nice. And I wasn't wasting any time in bed. So
that's so weird because like it's funny because obviously I think you're struggling more in the night than I am.
Yeah, well I don't sleep very well anyway.
No, but like
I am the resident insomniac.
Sure. But like if I'm waking up in the evenings at the moment, it's normally a case of I wake up, I sort of like mumble something to James, be like, oh, like, are you awake? And then he'd be like, yes. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I'll roll back over and go back to sleep.
You're like, what time is it? And I'll just be like, it is, the time is currently...
You're really chirpy.
2:20. Sat there with my Kindle open.
Yeah, literally. And then I'll go back to sleep straight away. But then I'll naturally wake up at like sort of like 8 o'clock. Whereas obviously because you've been awake for like 4 hours already, you're like, please let me sleep when it's like 10 o'clock in the morning.
I should get stuff done at night and then just have a power nap in the morning. A mid-morning power nap.
I don't know if you can do that later, like when we're actually like all sorted out though.
I know, it's not like...
I wouldn't start relying on that because it's not conducive to a
9 to 5 working schedule is it's slave labour, to be honest with you, Emily, and
right.
It doesn't take account of people's personal best times for working and doing things. At the moment, my best time is 2 o'clock in the morning. That's when I'm going to get my best work done. It's not my problem that no one else is around them. It's my best time for operating. Yeah.
That's not always going to be your best time to operate, though.
It might be.
But it won't.
Maybe that's the key to my insomnia. Maybe that's what I've been struggling with all this time.
I'm not so sure.
You can
I think
doubt
it's just
me if you want.
I think this is the jet lag talking.
No, this is the James talking.
The James talking. Jet lagged James.
I'm not wrong.
No, you're not, but you're jet lagged James.
Oh,
that's like a superhero, jet lagged James.
That is not a superhero. That is a superhero that turns up late because they were asleep, and everyone throws stones at them because they're like, "Why are you so late? You're meant to be our like hero here, and you're just useless." And what would he do if he turned up on time as well? What's his superpower? Oh yeah, I'm always really tired. What kind of superpower is that? Fantastic.
No, in my head, it had a better superpower, but I couldn't think of what it would be.
So you didn't have a better superpower
No,
in your
it's like
head?
something like where they could travel through the time zones and not be jet lagged.
So he'd be not jet lagged, James, which doesn't have the same ring to it.
I don't know. I'm tired. I'm tired. what happens when you record a podcast when you're tired and jet lagged.
For the physical record, tears were literally leaping out of Emily's eyes then, such is the tiredness. They're literally jumping off your face.
They actually
You've got a little puddle on the table.
Oh my gosh, you do.
I'm currently moving the mic away from the puddle because it's gradually growing, and
I didn't even realise I could do that.
that's just kamikaze teardrops. Abandoning ship. This is an interesting experience for us because we're living together properly for the first time.
It kind of just feels like we're on holiday, though.
It does a bit, but we're doing living together things. Like the other day, we sat in separate rooms and ignored each other.
I mean, we say separate rooms, right? To like explain this setup here, it's kind of like I'd almost describe it as like a hotel room-esque sort of setup.
Yeah, sort of, but with a kitchen. Well, I say
like
a kitchen.
A kitchenette.
A strip of kitchen things.
Yeah, I mean, we've got like all the kitchen appliances, like a stove top and an oven and a fridge. And
to be honest, this Airbnb is, it's got everything we need. The only thing that's a bit annoying is just that the bedroom isn't a bedroom.
Yeah, it's basically a studio because it has like a sliding glass door to separate the quote bedroom area from the main living area.
It's a studio.
It's basically a studio.
Yeah, which is fine.
Fine for what we need it for right now.
Yeah, and the rest of the flat, I mean, the space is fine. Like, we don't really need any more space than we've got.
No.
And we haven't, I don't feel like we're standing on each other's toes at all. We're
No, but we're not even a week in.
Yeah, but it could have gone a lot worse.
I mean, true, but we have also just been sleeping a lot and flopping out on the sofa. Because we have the brain capacity of snails right now.
But I mean, most of our experience of staying in the same house, flat together, because it wouldn't be like days and days and days on end. We'd normally actually talk to each other, fairly consistently, or do stuff together. Whereas now we live together, it's different because we're just, we do more of the ignoring each other.
I wouldn't say we ignore each other. We kind of just go and sit in separate areas.
Just do different things.
You might be reading and I'll be sat on YouTube or looking on Instagram or reading or whatever. So we do things separate from the other.
Yeah, which is good. There's no,
And once we're settled in, we'll probably end up having slightly separate social lives because we'll probably have slightly different friends.
Yeah, well, I won't have any, and I'll go to the gym all the time.
Don't say that. Positive mental attitude. It's gonna be fine.
Okay.
Don't be so
negative.
Negative Nancy.
Negative Nancy.
Yeah.
How have I gone from jet lag James to negative Nancy? I'm not sure if that's an upgrade either. I'm not sure if it's...
No.
Like, once I was a superhero that people threw stones at, and now I'm just someone
why were they throwing stones at Jet like James, though?
Because he's always late, because he was asleep.
Yeah, but why stones? Surely they'd just be like, oh, mate, sorry, that happened 3 hours ago. It's all sorted now.
But they would be throwing stones.
Why?
They just would. It's what they do.
Who's they?
They.
Who are they?
I don't know, the people. The general public.
General public's not very nice.
Well, like James turned up 3 hours late to the emergency, so maybe he deserves the stones.
Anyway, I think we should probably wrap this up
before it gets too weird.
I mean, I apologise, Simon. This is probably going to be quite...
a mess. It's a mess. There's only one way to put it, and this is a mess.
It's a mess.
I thought this would be a lot easier than it has turned out to be.
It's...
I thought it would be quite straightforward, but actually making your brain work and sounds to come out of the mouth whilst... Exhibit A.
Oh my gosh.
It's tricky. It's difficult.
I'm actually... Yeah, I'm just going to wrap this up. I'm really sorry. This probably has been such a weird mishmash of everything.
And all we've done is moan about sleeping patterns.
We've done a lot of moaning.
If you're really into knowing about other people's sleeping patterns, hey, what a great podcast for you. For everyone else, sorry.
But yeah, I promise that next week, hopefully it will actually be a bit more upbeat and a little bit more...
Better.
Just... I think anywhere from here is going to be better.
Yeah. That sounds so bad. But we can update people on what we've actually been up to.
Yeah, because at the moment...
We've done some wandering.
We've done a lot of wandering.
But we haven't done much. We're just trying to sort our lives out.
Yeah, pretty much. Who knows? This might end up actually being because of the editing, it might actually turn out that it's not as bad as we hear it. But who knows?
Probably will be.
Probably will be.
Might even be worse.
Might be worse. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Okay. Anyway, as always, thank you for listening. Again, we're sorry about the lack of
Good content.
and enthusiasm for of.
We also apologise
God.
for Emily's inability to formulate. Oh no, there I go. I can't do it either. The sentences things.
Okay, yeah. As always, you can follow this podcast on Instagram and Twitter at
Is It Just Us?
I'm gonna just try that. Just give me a second. I need a nap. As always.
You had the tears on your face. I think you need a napkin too.
I do. As always, you can follow this podcast. What are you doing?
I was just looking at the table. Is that illegal now? Am I not allowed to look at the table? My phone is on
You
it.
look like you're really concentrating.
Yeah, I had to remember what my Instagram name is for when you always go and you can follow James at and I say my thing.
But I need to remember mine first.
You need to remember the one for the podcast too.
Exactly.
This is your third attempt.
Okay, let's try this again. Take 3.
God, if this makes the cut.
Oh gosh. Sorry, Simon. Anyway, like I was saying, you can follow this podcast on Instagram and Twitter at isitjustuspod. You can follow me on Instagram at that's_just_Emily.
And me at that's Justice James _98.
Really great enthusiasm there.
Sorry, I was really struggling to remember how it went.
And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, we would love you to rate and review. We've been loving reading all the comments so far, so please keep them coming. And as always, let us know what you want us to cover. I promise that we do actually have better topics to talk about as of next week, but we thought that this might just be a good one to touch base and just be like, we made it, we're okay, we're safe, we're now starting the Aussie adventure.
And anyone who plans on doing this, coming to Australia in the future, you know that if you feel awful after the journey, hey, that's normal.
Yeah.
Hey.
But one thing that we were thinking of is possibly doing a taste test on here of Vegemite versus Marmite.
Yeah, we might we'll record that live.
Yeah.
And
so let us know on Instagram and Twitter and all sorts if you want that. I think we all know what we're going to say.
Yeah.
But we're going to reserve any judgment.
Okay. We'll reserve the official judgment.
Yeah. Okay. And we will catch you guys next week.